Hello everyone. Previously, we had discussed on the abstract based classes. Today we'll be discussing on the type hinting and static typing topic, right? So let's get into the definition part here. First, so type hinting is a way to indicate the expected data type of variables, functions, function arguments, and return values using Python's typing module, right? So this comes from the typing module, right? So they have I have strictly mentioned here typing module. This comes from the typing module. So type hinting is a way to indicate the expected data types of variables, function arguments, and return values using Python's typing module, right? So static typing allows tools like MYPY to catch type errors before runtime, improving the code reliability and readability. Right, so just keep this in mind. Now, next, let's discuss some of the points, and then let's move on with the example part. Right, so now Python is dynamically typed. We know, but starting from the version 3.5 and above, so it starts optional static typing via type hints. So we can go with the static typing via type hints, right? So just give me a second here again. Yeah, Python is dynamically typed, we know, but starting from the version 3.5 and above, it supports optional static typing via type hints. Just keep this in mind. This is very important. This is literally very important. Again, let me stress this one. Python is dynamically typed language, so it uses the interpreter. We know this one. But starting from the version 3.5 and above, it supports optional static typing via type hints. We can annotate variables and functions with expected types using the built-in types or the typing module. Whether it may be list, tuple, nothing but the dictionary, and the optional and etc. Sorry, optional and etc. So this is fine, optional etc. So now tools like MYPY or IDs like PyCharm can analyze these annotations to detect potential bugs before execution. Just keep this in mind. These are some of the important topics I found that I need to explain for this topic, type hinting and static typing, right? So let's move on with the example part. So again, I'm telling, so this one you have to know the line number 5. Python is dynamically typed, but starting from the version 3.5 plus, so 3.5 and above, it supports optional static typing via type hints, right? So let's move on with the further things. Now, let's go with a very simple example, man. So from this will be from typing basically, right? So let's import list and tuple. So I'll just go with import list and tuple. So this will be tuple. Yeah, this is fine. Now let me go with a very simple function that takes a list of integers and returns their sum. I'll just go with a def add numbers. So the parameters, I'll just go with the nums here. So list of integers. So this is fine. Let me make use of this one, which is also type int, to mention int, right? So this is fine. We are just going with the static typing here. So let's go with, or let's do one thing. Let's declare total as an integer here. So I'll just go with a total similar to the TypeScript. So this one we have to mention int here equals 0, right? So we are declaring total as an integer. So let's go with a for loop here for individual number in nums. What shall we do here? So let's add each number. Nothing but total equals total plus n. This is fine. So we are just adding each number, and now let's return the final sum. Means let's return. So let me give here return total. Return total. This is fine. We are just returning the final sum here, man. Simple, right? So next, let's go with one more function that returns a tuple of name and age, right? So name and age, just remember this one. Let me go with def. The function name, I'll just go with person info, right? So person info. So we are going with the name and age, right? So name str here, age here, which is of the type int, name is of the type string, and age is of the type int. So this one will be, let me go with the tuple here, tuple str comma int. So this has to be integer, nothing but int. This is fine. So let's return something here. Let's return name and age itself. We have to, right? So let's return name comma age. This is fine. So let's go with one more function. Let's go with one more function uh, that comes with a optimal return type. That comes with optimal return type. Again, let's import something here from typing. Sorry, this has to be typing, man. This is fine from typing. So let's import what we need to import here, optional, right? So this one will be optional. So I'll just go with a function. I'll just go with a function name. This one divide. So let me go with divide. So this will be irrelevant. So I'll just go with a, which is of the type int, and also b, which is of the type int again, which is of the type int again. So let me go with, sorry, optional here. Let me go with the optional here. So let me pass float here. Let me pass float here. This is fine. Uh, if b equals 0, if b equals 0, then what we'll do, we cannot divide by 0, right? So let me return none here. B equals 0, then let's return none, because we cannot divide by 0. So let's return none. Else we have to return the float result, floating point integer, or the float result. So I'll just go with return a by b, right? This is fine, easy, right? So we are just going with a simple math here. Division. So let's print certain things for the interactiveness. I'll just go with a print. So the we'll go with the add numbers function here. So let me go with some numbers, man. Just go with 1 comma 2 comma 3. So this is just for the example sake, right? So this is fine. Let me go with print again. So let me go with the, we have the person info, right? Person info function. So within this one, we have whatever we have, name and age, right? So name, let me pass Bharadwaj here, and name and age, right? So age, I'll just go with here 31, right? So this is fine. Next, we have two more functions here. One more function, nothing but the divide, right? So I'll just go with print here. So this has to be divide. Mm, so let's go with the one that divides, basically 10 by 2. So this is fine. And let me copy this one entire line and let me paste it over here. So we have written none. When b is 0, we have to return none, because we cannot divide by 0, right? So let me go with that for that as well. Example for that as well. So I'll just go with 10 comma 0, 5 comma 0, anything that doesn't matter, man. So this is fine, right? So we are done with the coding part. We are done with the coding part. Let's run the code. So I'll just give here python space. I'll just come here, rename. Let me copy this one. Let me give here dot py. So this is fine. What output that we are getting here? 6, Bharadwaj 31, 5, and none, right? So 6, because we are going with the this one add numbers, right? So we are adding the numbers here, all the numbers within the array. 1 plus 2 plus 3, 3 plus 2 is nothing but 5, 5 plus 1 is nothing but 6. We are getting the correct output. The second one here is, so we are going with the this one, right? Person info consists of the name and age. Name, for the name we have passed Bharadwaj, and for the age we have passed 31. So we are getting the correct output, Bharadwaj and 31. And for the third one, we have given 10 comma 2, nothing but the divide. So this we are going with a divide function, right? So we are going with a 10 comma 2. 10 by 2 is nothing but 5. We are getting the correct output, right? 5.2, 5.0. So this is fine, 5.2. The final one is 10 by 0. So here we have written a condition within the divide function. If b is 0, then we have to return none, right? So we are getting the output none, because we cannot divide by 0. We cannot divide by 0, right? So this is fine, man. We are done with the coding part, right? So we are getting the correct output here. So basically the function add numbers here, this one, right? So this one, uh, So this itself I have explained, man. Again, I don't want to explain. So we are done with the coding part, right? So now this is it for the type hinting and static typing. This is it for the type hinting and static typing. So let me summarize whatever we have learned so far. So just keep these three things in the mind, man. Type hinting adds clarity to the code and it helps with the documentation and tooling. Just remember this. Type hinting adds clarity to the code and it helps with the documentation and tooling. And the second one here would be it doesn't enforce types at runtime but allows static analysis using tools like MyPy or MyPy, right? So the final one here would be it helps catch the bugs early, especially in the large code bases or collaborative collaborative projects, right? So we are done with the topic type hinting and static typing. So next we'll be discussing on the topic data classes. For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.